Hello everybody! Welcome to my channel. I owe you all an apology for not videoing yesterday, but to be quite honest, I had a million and one things. I didn't think I would have an issue filming, but I had a million and one things that just ate up my entire day. So I apologize for that. I just wanted to follow up on the cover. I just got this laying here. I've made, instead of sewing my trims down, I went ahead and just glued them down really good, and they're not going anywhere. I didn't want you to see that yet, but I added my butterfly. I have this trim laying here because I am going to add it right here. As I said, I've played around with this for a while and have made some decisions so we can get through this. So I am going to add this here. Got my little butterfly, and I know I keep talking about this little button that just has the holes up here on the top. I thought it would be cute here on this, and I think I'm going to let that butterfly flip up. I thought about putting this little applique flower there with the button underneath it. That's what I'm thinking about. What else? Oh, I have, let me see. I don't think I have any of it laying out here. Yikes. Things falling off my table. Have this collar is what it is, and I cut a couple rows off of that. Get that back out of my way. And I was playing around with it, and I think what I'm going to do is, let me get this out of here. I had all this sort of organized. I thought on the front here I would put that. And I have these little, at Hobby Lobby, this is by the Paper Studio, these little, I don't know, I can't remember the names of them, but anyway, brads. I was looking at buttons, and then I saw these brads, and I was like, you know, I sort of like that brad there, and I thought I would put beads here. With the other part, I think I'm going to put it over here on the back side of the cover with another one of these little brads and a couple beads. And then I think once I do that, I'll be able to judge if I want anything else or if I want to leave this as is. But I'm pretty happy with the way it's looking. Completely different than what I had envisioned, which is typically the norm with everything I do. I have a vision and then it goes completely off. I'm just going to glue this stuff down, and then I'll take a look at it once we get everything attached and the beads on and see if I need to do any stitching on it or not. And I figured out what I want to do on the inside as well. I really have enjoyed, and I want to sort of know where my center of my, let me take this off real quick. Should have done that. I want to make sure that's centered. And I don't really know where the center is going to be. It's going to make it a little bit difficult, isn't it? How am I going to do that? Well, I know I want my cover to be 10. And I'm sort of judging where I have to turn this edge and to make sure it doesn't affect this little flap here. So I'm thinking my edge is going to be about there. So from there, just set this down. Find my edge again. Set this down like that. And then I know that my cover is 5 inches wide. Let's see if I still have glue on this. So somewhere in there. And hopefully this will turn out in the center. Well, I can make it turn out to be in the center, I think, as long as I don't get too far from this edge. I'm going to make some more of these. Like I said, I love making journal covers. My biggest struggle personally is definitely the inside of the journal. Like picking the papers. I really struggle with that. I did a video earlier today of my swap journal. I received my swap journal and it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Let me grab mine off. I'm just going to poke a little hole through here to stick that brad through if I can. I have got to change this mat. Why I haven't done that yet is beyond me. Ordered my new mat and it's just sitting over there on my painting easel, waiting to be used. Boy, we have had, yesterday was a gorgeous day. Not that I got to enjoy too much of it because I had my father-in-law to dinner last night, and yesterday there was like 75 things going on. But I wanted to make stuffed peppers. He loves stuffed peppers. Let me see how I'm going to be able to do this. That's weird. It's not, these little prongs aren't in the center of this. But anyway, yesterday morning, I went to the market first thing to pick up some things that I needed. Came home and I thought, well, if I get all these, prepared, so all I have to do is put them in the oven later today, that would be good, because it takes forever. And so I had to end up going to a second market, because the first market didn't have, believe it or not, fresh basil or fresh parsley. So I had to go to another market. By the time I did all that, that was like a 4-hour process between the markets, and, preparing all the stuffing for them and stuff, getting them ready. And then, what else? Oh, had to drop my car. I have a Jeep, and I had to drop it off at the dealership because it has to be inspected. It's being inspected today. And then I mentioned those fuzzies that fall from an oak tree. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. They're long, stringy, brown fuzz, and they fall after the leaves open. Oh, what a nightmare that was. I went out there, there was none on the ground, and I'm glad they're falling, because once they're all down, we're done with it for the year. I went outside to water my plants, and it looked like we had a massive snowstorm. There were so many fuzzies. So then I had to keep going out every 20-30 minutes to clean out the pools so they wouldn't get in the filter. It's the most I've ever seen happen in one day, ever, in all the years. And I was just outside earlier, and they are falling as if it's raining. So I'm hoping. if it's another day like yesterday with those fuzzies, that it should end. The fuzzies should all be down, which would not be a bad thing, I'll tell you. I just couldn't believe it. I think, yeah, I'm going to have to cut that about there. Like, I would have never dreamed of adding pink on here. It's sort of a dusty pink, but I like the way it looks together. Yeah, that's the back. I always have a hard time telling what's the front, what's the back. So I think if I move quick enough, we'll finish this cover both, you know, inside and out. I just want to sort of glue down the pieces that need to be glued down. Go ahead and glue this little flower down. Yes, I was shocked yesterday when my husband came home. He had collected our mail, and he's like, there's a package here. And it was that journal from the swap. And just last week, we got our swap partners, I think on the 10th, or something like that. I don't know. It was early last week that we received our swap partners' names. Sorry about that. And she's in the UK. And then I tracked my package that I sent to her, and it arrived Monday. There was a notification that a notification had been left, you know, where they had reached out to her or whatever. So I messaged her and said, I received my journal already. And she said she was on her way home from the post office to pick up hers. But, like, I had ordered some stuff from the UK. And, you know, had received my notification that things had shipped. It was over 3 weeks for me to receive that package. That's what surprised me, because I was like, it must have just been an issue with that Mo, stop it. Must have just been an issue with that particular package for some reason. I don't know. Because when I mailed it, you know, they ask you, oh, I can be there in, you know, 2 days for this price, this much for this price. And it costs $30 to send the package, which I'm not complaining about, but I was like, I'm not paying $60 or $70 to get it there in 2 days. And then to see how quickly it got there, I'm like, I made the right decision, you know. But then I worried about it after I received my package yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope that mine's not like, doesn't take forever to get to her. But it all worked out well. Alright, I think that's all the gluing on this. I'm going to get this on, and then we'll do the beads. I have glue everywhere. Poke a hole in this center one. Yeah, so we had like 80, I think they said it was 80, 83 or 84 yesterday. And it would have been perfect, but I had to use my oven yesterday for those peppers last night, and boy, that really heated up the inside of the house from something fierce. Make that flat. Alright. So then all I have to do on the front here, I think I'm going to put this brown button in the center there. I'll stitch that on. But we'll go to, I just thought it would be cute, and I need to do this button. I just thought it would be cute to leave that as a flap. I like this button. I think I'll wait to add it until we assemble the journal just to see if I want it there or not for sure. Let me move up here. So, beads. I've been through all my beads, and I think I have determined that I'm going to use these. I think. I'm going to see it today in light. Because I was looking at these gold ones too. And I think I'm going to go with the green. They're sort of like a, I don't know if the camera's picking them up. Excuse the glue all over my fingers. Sort of like a, they almost look like turquoise with gold running through them. So I thought what I would do, I'm going to put 4 here, and then I'm going to do 1 on either side there. And I had a needle prepared for that. I think this is called Beadalon or something like that. I'm not a professional beader, believe me. And I put beads on things, believe me, but I actually learned through Rachel. She had shown us all. Her mother had told her the proper way to add beads. So I will share that with you if you haven't seen that, or you may already know. I didn't. But I guess the first thing you're supposed to do is, they say to put, I'm going to have to glue that some more. If I have to, I'll stitch these down. I'll be able to fix the loose parts if there are any. It's going to be hard to do with this hand. And I'll tell you, now my right hand is acting up on top of the left, so that's how my days have been going. I'll tell you, the glue takes my nail polish off. So I guess you're supposed to make 2 stitches. Ooh, that's going to be hard to get through that lace. Just in case the string becomes weak, you know, it's going to help to hold them on. And then come up. Over, there we go. Add the bead. I gotta find the hole. Thank goodness I didn't have to use, these beads are large enough I didn't have to use a bead needle. Oh, those things are torture to get threaded. And even with a threader, I mean, they're impossible. But so I was thankful that these beads were a little bit bigger, that I was using these and not the real tiny seed beads. And then you come down, make your first stitch, if I can. Which is supposed to come back up. Ugh. This lace is just thick enough. I don't want to go over that part, but I guess that's okay. Go back through your bead and stitch it down. So you go through twice, basically, and it will hold the bead in place. I'm not saying that I'm any teacher on this by any means, but this seems to hold them in place, whereas before when I was doing it, not so much. Guess I want to go back. Come here. Go down on the other side. Come up. To my bead. Back down. I got 2 done. Oh, I forgot to set my timer. I'm going to sew this one on, and then what I'm going to do is turn you off and finish adding the beads and that button, and then we will come back and start assembling the actual journal and doing the inside. This, oh, that lace is very difficult to get through. Uh-oh. Oop. I'm gonna have to rethread my needle here. Yeah, so today's going to be another day like yesterday. So there, I got 3 on there. I'm going to turn you off. I'm going to finish my beads. I'm going to sew this button on, and we'll finish the inside and assembling the actual journal. Be back in a minute. Okay, I am back. I completed the beads. I sewed those on. I sewed this button on. So for now, we're going to call the cover done. We may make, you know what I mean? We may decide to do something more. I don't know. I think at this point I'm calling it done. I may still add this button, which I'm just hooked on, in case you haven't noticed. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is, this is the cardstock that all of this is going to get attached to. I've marked my middle, and I tried to give myself some lines here. I don't know if it will help or not, to sort of know where I need to place this so that it's going to come out centered on the cover. I'm not going to lose sleep if it's not exact, but I am going to make an effort to make that in the center. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I want this to be at the very top, and I think it'll give me a good, what's the word I'm looking for, guide, I'm going to cut this fabric. Or initially when I was making this, I was thinking I would be wrapping the sides, and I think with everything attached, it's going to be too cumbersome. You know, I don't want it to be like all bulky around the corners. So I think I'm going to trim that off to give myself a guide to at least start attaching. I had to look up, make sure I turned camera on. Oh no, started to cut my cardstock there. That's not good. Alright, get rid of that. Alright, so that's going to give me a guide on the top. I just had a thought. Oh, I'm going to go ahead, excuse me for reaching, and ink around the edges here. I cut that, but I'm not going to worry about it. I think it'll be fine once the journal's attached on both sides. You know, the front and back cover. Just in case this edge is seen at all, which I don't think it will be, but just in case. Tell you, I had to, oh, I know I keep talking about those stupid fuzzies, but the battle has begun for the day. Tell you, there's times out there it literally looks like it is raining. Nothing but those fuzzies. I mean, just dropping like you would not believe. In all the years, I've never seen it like this, ever. I don't know what, I mean, we had winter like we normally do, but I've never seen it like this. Hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. That means that, they'll be done quicker. You won't have to worry about them. We literally spent hours this weekend power washing all of the cement and decks and patio furniture and all that, and these fuzzies have made a mess. I just pray we don't have to, I want that up there. Let me see, what can I put on there? Let me grab something real quick. I just grabbed a piece of that packaging tape that's really strong. I'm just going to put that on that corner, since I cut through there by accident. There we go. Now I don't have to worry about it. Alright, so I have decided, I had my Fabri-Tac out, but I think I'm going to go with my PVA. I just feel better about the PVA. I don't know why. But that is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to put a bunch of this on here. I just love, I know I've mentioned this little boy before, but this little boy lives across the street. I think he's 2. Yeah, he's Ellie's age. He just turned 2. He is the most adorable little thing, I tell you. And his grandma and grandpa are over there babysitting today. They were there yesterday too while mom and dad work. And I get the biggest kick out of him. He's the sweetest little thing. Yesterday, when the mom got home from work, grandma and grandpa were leaving, you know, and he's up in the window, you know, blowing kisses and telling them goodbye. And then even when they were halfway down the street, he's yelling out the window, "Bye, Papa! Bye, Papa!" It's the cutest little thing, I tell you. He is sweet. He is crazy about my husband. Bill comes home and he'll be in their living room window looking out, and he's yelling to say hello to Bill. Yesterday you could actually hear him say to his mom, "Bill's home, Bill's home." He's so little. Looks like he's too little to be he talks clear, I mean clear, clear, clear. He's sweet. And I've never seen a kid with so many different pairs of shoes in all my life. I always notice that. Bill's like, "You notice the weirdest things." I'm like, I just always notice him. Like, that kid must own 75 different pairs of shoes. So I am going to try, number one, I'm going to start at the top to get this at the top. But I'm also going to try my best. I'm going to stand up to do this. To try to line this somewhat so that it will be somewhat centered. Maybe I should, well, no, because I had to sew the beads on. I was going to say maybe I should have waited, but I didn't. Alright, so I'm going to lift that up. It's going to be sort of hard to, looking for my prayers. Alright. That should be fine. And then more than likely, yeah, I definitely will stitch around edges. Now what I'm going to do on this side, before I put the back on, I'm going to go ahead and cut around. My hands are disgrace. Excuse me. My allergies are still raging, and the more I'm dealing with those fuzzies, those from the oak tree, the worse it's making it for me. Makes me nervous when I cut things like this, especially from the back, where you can't see what you're actually cutting. Oh. And I'm not the straightest of cutters anyway. So it can be a surprise. What's happening here? Why is that not? Oh, I know why. Let me just fix this real quick. I want to, this side doing it too. And this PVA blue, believe it or not, is going to make this even stronger. This cardstock when it dries. I was like, why is this coming loose? It's because I cut the border where that fabric was stitched to the backing. That's why that's doing that. Once I sew around, all of that will be fine. Alright, so let's go to the inside now. And I don't know why I'm going to keep those for a second in case I decide there's something I could do with them. I want to wipe this off. I forgot to turn my timer on again. Okay. That's the sequence I had pulled out and didn't use, but I'm going to work on a few more just like this. Not the same fabrics and everything, but a few more of these journal covers, I think. I really enjoyed working on this. Alright. So on this side, this is what I've come up with. Well, first of all, I've decided to use this sari ribbon as my closure. Oops. I'm going to put you on pause for just a second. Wow, I am back, finally. Alright, so I told you my vehicle had to be dropped off for an inspection today, and it was sort of ready to be picked up, and went to pick it up. We have to replace a windshield in it, so it has to be dropped off on Friday again. We got to do it all over again. What a fiasco. But anyway, alright, so I selected, as I was talking about, I believe, this as my tie for my closure. I'll just show you what it sort of looks like from the front. I sort of like that it picked up the blue in this. We have so many colors going on, I really don't think it would matter what color we went with, but that's the color I chose. So before I put my back on here, I am going to approximately find my center. I am burning up. I just got back from doing that and cleaning up the fuzzies. The war with the fuzzies is on, and the war is real. Did that, watered part of the plants, not all of them. So somewhere about here is my middle. So I just want to, and why I chose my finger, I don't know. But I did. Alright, get rid of this Alright, so I'm going to find my approximate center of this. You can open this if you want, so it lays more flat. Might be the better thing to do. I think with the thickness of the fabric that I'm covering the inside with, really wouldn't matter. And then we are going to stitch around the journal, so that'll give it added security. Did I have that straight? I feel like did I? I think it's alright. It's alright. Okay. So then, let's see. Let me think about this. Take a little breather here. Ooh, I cannot believe how hot it is out there. It really is hot. I am refusing to turn the air conditioning on. I do not want the air on yet. And I cut this, when I cut this fabric, I cut it the size of the cardstock. So I just sort of want to see, make sure, like up here, down at the bottom's not as important because I'm putting that pocket that goes all the way along. I just want to make sure. Okay. So wait a minute, how do I want to do that? I got that going on. Did I show you this? Maybe I didn't show you what I wanted to do. I want to use this fabric on the inside. I was going to make a pocket. It's not going to be this big, but a pocket out of this that goes all the way across. And then I was going to use the rest of this trim to put along the top of the pocket. And then I'll stitch. Yeah, okay. I just answered my own question. Sorry, my brain is working as I'm talking here. I'm going to glue this down to the top of this. The weird thing about my vehicle inspection, I have a Jeep. Not that it matters, but we have to get our vehicles inspected here every 2 years. And, you know, they're checking for, you know, safety issues, emissions, whatever. And so 2 years ago, when I had my inspection done, I have a small, it's probably like this, crack in the bottom, very bottom of my passenger side front window. And when that was first discovered that that was there, it was shortly before inspection time. So we had fully expected to have the windshield replaced, you know, during the inspection. No, it passed. They passed it and literally stuck the inspection sticker right on the crack of the windshield. So this time we didn't even think about it. They passed it last time. You have to look for this crack. But anyway, that's what they're saying now, that Rhode Island laws have changed and it has to be replaced. So, you know, whatever. Of course, they can't do it today. It has to be done on Friday. I called my husband, though, and I said, they made a suggestion that we just buy a new Jeep. He didn't like that suggestion. Alright, so that's going to be the top of my pocket. And the only thing I need to do, really, I want to decide, maybe if I do this, I just sort of want to decide how tall I want my pocket to be. It's pretty hard to do with just hanging over and not being able to tell. Let me try it here. I guess I can do it that way. Sorry if you hear that. It is trash day here, which means it must be Wednesday. I want my pocket to about there. Or my pocket. Constantly calling envelopes pockets, and everything's a pocket. Alright. So what I'm going to do... need to make sure. Well, Travis crossed the street like the garbage man. Just beneath. Am I that far off? It might be. Let's measure this. Four and a quarter. Wow. This needs moved up here. Alright. Trim this. Guess I should do this before I do that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my middle. I want to stitch this down the middle, but I don't want to stitch through my cardstock. So I'm going to stitch this in the center. see if this will work. Yeah, I can see that enough. Just okay, I'm going to do this really quick while I have you on camera here so I don't have to turn you off and back on. Okay, done. All right, then what I am going to do, as I'm sure you have already guessed, is I'm going to glue this down to the back. Oh, I shouldn't have cut that. I was worried about my cardstock showing. I shouldn't have cut the bottom. I hope I got this right. I think we'll be fine. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. All right. Get some of this out of my way. Dry my glue brush off. Make sure those are out of the way. Sorry, trash truck is on its way back. Recycle truck, I should say. Busy day here in Warwick, Rhode Island. Well, for our street. Not everybody has trash day today. Should say busy day in my life. Normally, I don't have a whole lot going on. Last couple of days. Been sort of crazy for me. I've made it complete. I think my glue bottle gets like that because I always rub it on the paper or whatever I'm gluing. I still haven't ordered PVA glue. That's another thing I list in my planner every week, every Monday. Buy PVA glue, buy PVA glue. When I'm doing this right like this, the sides I know I can always come back to. I always like to make sure, no matter what kind of journal I'm making, that right here where the spine is going to be, that I glue the fabric down really good, because sometimes you'll get those where it lifts up and it just That drives me nuts. That happens. And once again, I'm going to put a little bit more glue here. And then I'll come back to my edges. This is always the scary part for me. I should start on the bottom here. I keep thinking that's not covered, but it is. Now what I like, what I like to do at this point, because there's so much glue going on, I like to set, I have a couple large dictionaries that I set on top of things like this, and to number one, I feel like it's pushing, you know, the pieces together for the glue to adhere, and to let it dry like that. And then once it dries, I will be able to stitch around the perimeter, which I don't have to have these pins in here anymore. Well, I guess I will hold that in place for when I stitch so the pockets come out right. There we go. Really don't want to fold this. I'm not going to fold it yet. I'm going to let this dry, and then I will, once it dries, I'm going to stitch around it, and then we will come back and determine. See, I was thinking about putting eyelets in, so it could be, I could use the elastic, you know, for, I'm gonna give that some thought while this is drying, and I will be back once this is dry and I've done the stitching. See you after a while. Bye. Okay, everyone. This is dry for the most part. It's not completely dry, but I went ahead and stitched all the way around, just on the outside perimeter. I chose to use just a straight stitch at this point, but just to show you the inside with a front and back pocket, it's all ready for a journal to go be placed in it. The one thing that I am still on the fence about is if I want to do an elastic here or a journal that would just slide in or out, or if I just want to use like a three-hole pamphlet stitch to stitch a journal in. So I'm going to hold off on that just because I'm undecided. If I do the elastic, the only thing I'm looking at is it's probably going to take an inch at the top and an inch at the bottom. You need to put 2 eyelets at either end to run the elastic through. So wherever the bottom eyelet would reach here and the top eyelet here is how large the journal could be. So that's the only reason I'm on the fence. You know, it's going to make, which isn't a horrible thing, but I want to give it some thought. The other thing that I happened to think about, I did stitch the button on that I liked. Left that. And really, that's it. What was I getting? Oh, the only other thing I thought about was, of course, you could zigzag. And the other thing was, you know, you could always do like the blanket stitch around all the way around the edge. I'm letting the fabric, as you can see, unravel here along the edges. Then once I feel that, you know, it's done for the most part, if I feel that it needs trimmed down, then I will. Closure. Really like the way it came out. And I think with a journal in it, it would feel awesome in your hands. So there's this journal cover. I hope that helps. I love this style. I have ideas, maybe not this boho. I don't know if you would call this boho or not. I would. But starting out with blocks or strips of fabric, and then it's just, it has my imagination going, is what I'm trying to say, and don't know how to express it. But I will be making a few more of these. This style anyway. I keep seeing little hairs that I'm cutting off here. But anyway, I hope that someone gained some sort of knowledge. Not that I'm a know-all at all. I'm not. I'm constantly learning just like the rest of you. But I hope that this helps someone in some small way. And I'll decide what I want to do with this. So, with that being said, I'm going to wish you a good rest of your day. And happy crafting, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.